Hello, everybody, and welcome to your Thursday lighting critique. We've got a couple videos to look at first. Then we're going to go into some stills. We've got, we've got Jason, Chris, and Justin with us today. And we're going to start here with Jason, your updated image. So, you want to talk a little bit about what you got going on here, what you updated?
Yeah, I basically did the lighting lights.
Mm-hmm.
I added the lighting lights also in the fog. In the configs, I did a couple of fixes in the character skin because she was too dark.
Mm-hmm.
So I wanted to bring her out a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Also defocus the background and added the motion blur.
Cool.
Right now I have like 3 frames that are render errors, which will be re-rendered today.
Okay. That's not bad. Three's not bad.
Yeah.
Okay, so there were three major elements to this that I was seeing that I think that we can improve upon. Number one is I see that, like, I like this idea of light coming up from, because it's kind of coming up from down there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I want to make this area a little bit brighter, like right around the base, so you can kind of feel that there's a light source down there. So just like
Okay.
because it's kind of uniform how bright it is as we go up, except for this little bit of fog. So I just kind of want to feel that brightness a little bit.
Okay.
As we're going through here, I think the character's overall brightness can come up like one stop, just to help stand her out a little bit from the background, because she's kind of standing in this alley of lights that are shining down here, and I can believe that she might get a little bit brighter than this. And again, it's all about just getting her to really kind of stand off from the background a little more. The rim lights help, but I think just overall, like value, she looks a little bit too similar. And then the third one is I love that, like, this glowing element is cool, and it's really, really difficult. It's just that it flattens her out a little bit at some points. So I want to see the light that's coming from this glow to be a little bit more tight and localized to it, because what's happening, like, let's as she comes up here. Okay, so long. I love the interaction of that. There's areas like on her hair, like on the outside of her hair, and some other areas that just kind of, like, overall we lose some of that richness and that contrast and that darkness, and it feels like a little bit out of place. It just feels like it's a little bit too lifted. So it doesn't really feel like it's light, because it's not casting shadows. It's not like glowing. It's more just like, a strange ambience, almost like it's 2D. So we want to make sure to kind of make it feel like there's. It might just be a matter of, like, making it feel like that these. It's just like making these glow a little bit, and then, like, tightening so it should just be like bright right around here, but like the back of her leg still can be kind of dark. You know what I mean? Just kind of tightening it up there. But it's looking great.
Thanks.
Yeah, the shaders on the environment look really nice. It looks really grungy and dirty and dinged up and banged up, and just lots of small detail in there that's really, really nice.
Yeah, that was the idea. Basically, my main reference here was Alien,
Mm-hmm.
the first movie.
Yeah, yeah,
Basically,
yeah,
at the end of
yeah,
the movie,
yeah.
I rewatched it like 2 times to get the perfect lighting reference, and I did some screenshot of those.
Yeah, I mean, now that you mention it, it really does look like that. It's got that moisture in the air. It's got that kind of like like space travel, but still industrial and old, which is really nice, because usually, like, space travel looks like Star Wars, where everything's like clean and plastic and white everywhere.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is really good. It's good.
Yeah, first of all, I thought of getting something like a Ghost in the Shell
Mm-hmm,
in the movie, the Scarlett Johansson movie.
mm-hmm.
But then I was like, nah, I think I'm going to something more darker, something more difficult or more interesting to light,
Mm-hmm.
not something so flat or similar to whatever
Well, it's
I
just
could think of.
it's interesting, because, like, there's certainly places for both.
Mhm.
Like Justin's is a difference in that it is that more, like, clean aesthetic of space travel, where this just feels like an extension of the Industrial Revolution. Like, we just took an old, steam powered train or something, and just huddle, like an old World War II submarine, and just threw it into space, and, like, and that's kind of the feeling of it.
Yeah.
But it's cool. It's really, really good.
Thanks.
Yeah. All right, Justin. Speaking of yours, this is looking really good too. Again, very different aesthetics, different approaches versus like the clean space trout. I don't know why I think that these are in space. I just think that like this feels like a spaceship to me. I don't know why. I realize that I've been saying that for a while, and I have nothing that indicates that that's a true thing. But
yeah, I was in space too, so I'm with you.
Yeah, like I don't know what that is. So one of the things I noticed about yours was that there's a couple frames that pop here in the middle, and like this one right here, and when that one pops, I don't know if that's new or old, or something went wrong or what the deal is. But I like the pop frame better. I think that this like little bit this added speck kind of underglow on her looks really really cool, and it gives her some more detail. It gives some more shaping. Like if you look at the screen left side of her face, it now has it's more shaping going across. So I would identify whatever happened there, and then try and do that more. Does that make sense?
Yep. Yeah, I think that was I was just playing with different bounce cards, so that was like a variation of a bounce card. So I'll just use that one.
Yeah, it looks like I said, it looks really good. It adds a lot of variation, a lot of nice qualities to that. Oh, there was something else I noticed too when I was watching this earlier. This, for some reason, this shape on the archway, you can see it over there too. It really kind of, like that one in particularly kind of stands out. It just like, it's just because we see it a little more broadly, especially at the beginning. And as it's kind of sweeping across there, I would just tone that down a little bit.
Okay, yeah, no problem.
Should
I do all of them since they're all the same
Yeah.
shape?
Yeah,
Just
probably.
to uniformly? Okay, cool.
Probably. I think that's pretty much it. I mean, the only other thing that I was really seeing was that the red eye glow on this last robot that pops in. I think like we can feel a point where it goes, because it feels very very saturated red, and that's totally fine. But I think I would love to see it. And again, as she's flipping back, it kind of as it flies back too, you can see it some more. But there's like I want it to go white I want it to go. You know, like when things get, oh geez, I'm just popping up weather. I know when things get so bright, they just turn white as opposed to being like a deeper, richer, saturated version of that color. I kind of want to see some white in there, just because it matches up with the rest of the surroundings a little bit. That everything else as it gets brighter kind of goes towards white in this environment. That I want that to go that way too. So like maybe just like a white area in the center of it is like the brightest part.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Cool. Any other questions or anything? Anything else you're working through?
I don't think so. Oh, there is on the leg
Yeah.
of the robot, right
Yeah.
on like 231 kick.
Yeah.
Like the one.
It pops.
Should I take that little spinny thing at the bottom out?
Yeah.
I don't. Okay.
Yeah, I would just remove that. The calf, I guess, of a robot. Oh.
Yeah.
I've seen it
Okay.
do that in a couple of them before.
I
It
think that was fixed, no?
might have been.
On one of the other ones, I can always try to re-reference that in there.
Yeah, I think Mike shared another Alembic
Yeah.
with
With that-
those twisted fixes.
Got it.
Okay, cool. I'll just import that. Thanks.
If either that or just remove it.
Or just get rid of it.
Whatever's easier for you. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess removing it.
Yeah. All right. Cool. All right. Let's hop over into Photoshop. We'll look at a couple stills here. So we've got Chris, Kelvin, and Mercy. Chris, you're here, so we'll start with you. We've got the cooler version versus the warmer version on these lights in the background there. I think the warmer definitely. I agree with Diana. It definitely works a little bit better. I think it's all starting to come together really nicely. I would desaturate what's outside the window a little bit more to keep because it's. Yeah, I would just desaturate some of those warm values. I like them, but I think that since they're not really like contributing to the lighting look of things, I would just rather have that fall back into space to really keep focus on our main characters. I'm wondering if, and I'm just going to try this real quick. I'm wondering if it wouldn't be a good idea to potentially warm up the bounce light on the characters a little bit. Just, I mean, I know, like, it's one of those things that doesn't always makes sense, but in terms of an aesthetic of keeping their skin a little bit warmer, I'm wondering if that might be the way to go. I think so. Yeah, I would maybe try warming that up just a little bit. Yeah. And then I'm wondering if we shouldn't try adding a little bit of specularity into these fill values as well, because they're pretty broad. And whenever I have an area that broad, especially on our main area of focus that's not being hit by key light or not being hit by like rim light or something to add some diffuse variation, I will try a pass at adding some spec light in there, just because it could help get some more definition of like her jawline, or like his, get some more interest in his cheekbone area or something like that. Yeah. And then I'm trying to think if there's anything else. Is there anything else that you had questions about, or anything else you're working through? Yeah, but I think there's something too about the background that, like, I think it's the fact that we get super black in these. It almost feels like, as now that we have the light sources up out of the scene, I think we can push their contribution a little bit brighter, so that we can create some, like, a couple of pockets of light back here where they're located now, but just like a little bit more illumination. That, not enough to battle with the key light on the characters, but maybe about another 20% over what it is now. But I think the position of it's probably pretty good. Probably will work. All right, cool. Any questions, Chris? I don't know if you're able to speak or not. All right, cool. All right, let's hop over into Kelvin's. Kelvin, I think this is a really nice update from the previous version. We added some additional specularity to the chest, lips, and arm, and I think it's all looking good. The only thing I would do, and this is, and I think the skin looks like, even just like the little bit of, it looks like you got a little bump in there. You said. Yeah, I think even what we have now is good enough. A little bit of warmth under the nose too is really nice. So I think we're good. I think the only thing that I would do is that I would take down the specularity on the chest. The wrist looks good. The chest, like this specularity, take it down like 20%. That's it. Because what it is as I squint at it, it's about as bright as what we're on the face, and we just want to keep the focus up top. And that'll still add some variation without pulling us away from her too much. But other than that, I think it looks great. Unless anybody else had any thoughts, I think that would be the last one. Then we'll take one last look at it, and we will all clap our hands together. But yeah, great stuff, man. Really, really good stuff. All right, last up we have Mercy. Mercy, this is lovely progress. I love that you added the reflections in here. You're right, they're a little bright and a little bit... I think you could use a couple pixel blur on them to just make them a little less perfect. But I love the idea of extending the space with a little bit of that environment reflection in there. I would pretty much isolate into just like this part of the eye. I would take them off the other two eye. Like I would take them off like this area and then off over here. It's just a little bit of extending the space beyond there. I think this light can actually go a little bit brighter. If we're kind of matching the intensity of that, I think that's probably a safe thing to do too. And then got some rim light coming down the back. That's looking good. I mentioned toning this down, and the value is there now, but you can tell that it was adjusted after the render, because what's happening is this area right along the arm is it's flattened like it's like if I took down this area. Let me just do this. Like if I took down this part of the like what you can see what's happening is that the brightest part of the image kind of like remains bright. Let me do it another way. Let me do it as an exposure. And if I expose this down, you can kind of see that the bright area remains like flat white. It just turns to like a gray value, which is like what's happening here. So what you want to do is one of two things. One, you want to bring that value down in the actual render, because what it'll do, it'll darken it, but keep like a little bit of area bright, and it will give more variation in there as opposed to just bringing down this flat top thing. The other thing that you could do is make sure that you're rendering it out with an extended pixel range with an EXR file or something that allows the values to go past 1, because then if you pull it down in the comp or Photoshop or whatever, it'll actually work, because there's more value in there to play with. There's more range in your values. Other than that, just run an ambient occlusion pass on, because it looks like just to get a little shadow inside the nostril there. And same thing that I was saying about Chris's with the shadow area. Let's play with this. I'm wondering if we can...
Hey Mike, sorry for the audio issues.
Oh, no worries. No worries, that happens. I think that we could potentially warm up a little bit more in the shadows, and then give it a try. Try pushing some more specularity in there too, and just see what the resulting image is. And then I think we're getting closer. Any other thoughts on this one? All right, cool. Well, great job today, everybody. Good submissions all around. Definitely making some progress. We're finishing up some of these. This is great. All right. Well, enjoy the rest of your day, everyone. I will let you know on times for the critique tomorrow. Again, my schedule this week has just been nutty, and hopefully it looks like it's going to settle down a little bit. Next week, I'm knocking on wood. And hopefully things will settle down a little bit, and I can go back to the normal 11 a.m. time. But in the meantime, enjoy yourselves. Have a wonderful Thursday, everybody, and happy lighting, guys. Talk to you soon.
Have a good,
Thanks, Mike.
All right,
have a
bye.
good day.
You too.